Hey, what is up, guys? I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today, I wanted to make this quick little video to talk about some of the new peripherals we saw announced from Razer that are Halo Special Edition peripherals. So, I wanted to start off by looking at the keyboard, but real quick, just kind of quick overview of what they're offering. Razer just announced a new keyboard, mouse, and mouse pad that are like Halo Special Edition, and they already had announced at I believe at the same time that the Xbox Series X was the Halo Infinite Xbox Series X was announced. I believe that at that exact time they also announced the Kyra Pro wireless gaming headset, which is actually an Xbox headset, so that's probably why it was announced earlier. But yeah, so we're gonna look at all four of those because I figured might as well loop that in since it is a Razer product and it is Halo Special Edition. But let's start off with the keyboard, which is actually going to be a special edition, Halo Infinite, obviously, edition of the Black Widow V3 mechanical keyboard. Now, I'm a pretty big PC gamer, but I don't actually use too much Razer products. I actually really like the company. My two favorite companies for peripherals is Corsair and Razer, but I rock primarily Corsair peripherals at the moment, and I definitely own plenty of Razer peripherals, but I haven't actually messed around with their keyboards. So I don't know too much about their mechanical key switch, but in this particular keyboard, they are using the Razer green switch, and it is the Black Widow V3, which we already kind of covered, which is kind of their mid-tier keyboard. It's definitely higher end than some of their membrane keyboards that are like the lower tier, which is kind of not worth it for most people out there who are looking for PC gaming keyboards. Mechanical key switches are a real nice to have. If you're on a budget, definitely understand it. Membrane keyboards get the job done, no problem. My girlfriend gets more and more into gaming every day, and she's rocking like a Corsair keyboard, which is membrane switches, and it works just fine for her. But if you're looking for something a little bit higher end, it is nice to have mechanical key switches. And in this particular case, it's nice to see that Razer's launching their, or rather not launching, but making their special edition actually being the Black Widow V3. But it also kind of sucks that it's the Black Widow V3 because it is their mid-tier lineup and it's not their higher end tier, which is the Huntsman series of keyboard. And even though I don't own a Huntsman, I do have some experience with the Huntsman. I have played around with it a lot, and I actually really like the Huntsman keyboard. So I wish that they did make the special edition Halo Infinite keyboard the Huntsman series. It doesn't have to necessarily be the Huntsman Pro, but it would have been nice if it was a Huntsman keyboard instead of the Black Widow, which I've never really cared for the Black Widows in my personal opinion. And yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. I should have pictures on all this kind of as I go through this video, so you should be seeing pictures on it. But yeah, I really like the way it looks. Not really a huge fan of Black Widow keyboards. I think they're a little bit lackluster, especially for the price. I mean, this particular keyboard's $180. That's a pretty hefty price for a keyboard. Now, trust me, I know keyboards get a lot more expensive. My current keyboard's a K100 from Corsair, which is like their highest end. And yeah, keyboards get real pricey. But for $180, I'm not really impressed with the Black Widow V3 from Razer. I really hope that they update it. I would have been more happy if they did the Black Widow V3 Pro, because the Pro is at least wireless. So it has a bit of more functionality out of it. If you're looking for like a wireless keyboard, you could always plug it in, right? You could always plug in a wireless keyboard. But for $180, having it the regular Black Widow V3, not really a huge fan of that. They did do the Gears 5, I think it was. Keyboard was actually the Huntsman, so I'm kind of confused why they did the Black Widow. I'm sure they sell a whole lot more Black Widows than they do Huntsman because it is cheaper than the Huntsman. But at the same time, I'd much rather have this keyboard be a Huntsman, just like the Gears 5 Special Edition was. And I don't know why they chose the Halo one to be the Black Widow. I assume they're planning to sell more of these maybe, and they wanted to make a more appealing price point because of Black Widow being their more mid-tier. But still, $180 is pretty steep for a keyboard. And if I'm looking around that price range, I'd much rather spend an extra $20 to $40 for a Huntsman, because I think the Huntsman goes for $200. Yeah, the Gears 5 edition of the Huntsman, which is actually still available for sale, is $200. So I don't know why they didn't just go that route and put an extra $20 on the price tag and give us a Huntsman, which has optical mechanical switches, which is way better in my opinion anyways. And it's not necessarily their highest end, right? Their highest end is like a Huntsman. I think it's called the V2, which has like analog switches. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know why they went with the Black Widow V3. I assume, honestly, now that I'm kind of thinking about it a little bit more, they probably have higher profit margins on that. They might be planning to sell a lot more of these, so that might be the reason for it. But yeah, The Black Widow V3, it looks amazing. I am incredibly happy with the way that they designed this, but I don't actually think it's that great of a keyboard, so I'm a little bit upset about that. But to kind of move past that, let's talk real quickly about the mouse pad, because it's not going to take long to talk about the mouse pad. And on the mouse pad, it is a Razer Goliathus extended chroma mouse pad. So it does have RGB. That's really cool. Really happy about that. I like the RGB the RGB mouse pads. I think they look really good, but might not be your cup of tea. One thing I'm not happy about though is that that's about a $60 mouse pad. But because it's a special edition, they decide to add an extra $20 onto that price tag and making it an $80 mouse pad now. So that kind of sucks. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a mouse pad, so I don't necessarily think it's worth $80, but it does look really cool if you ask me. To be honest with you, I'm a huge fan of the way all of it looks. I think they did a great job designing it, but I'm just not a fan of some of their product choices, and I'm not necessarily a fan of their prices either. But like I said, it doesn't take too much time to talk about the mouse pad, so that kind of sums up my thoughts on it. It looks really good. I'm really excited to get mine, but it's probably not worth $80. Either way, let's move on to the mouse real quick. And the mouse is actually the Death Adder V2, which is actually a pretty good mouse. I don't have really a complaint for that. Wouldn't be my top pick. I'd much rather them have the Viper 8K or even like the Death Adder V2 Pro, I think it's called, which is like the wireless version. But overall, their Death Adder mouse, I think, is probably their most popular mouse. It's out there, it's trusted, it's proven. The Death Adder is a great mouse. Recently, my most recent mouse has been the Viper, and I like the Viper, and I would like to see them have the Halo Edition mouse that they would come out with be the Viper 8K, which is like their fastest mouse. But yeah, no real complaint on the Death Adder. It's going for $80. The regular Death Adder is like $70, so it's like $10 more just for having it the Halo Edition. But overall, really good mouse. Really don't have a complaint on it. So yeah, that sums up my thought on the mouse, or my thoughts rather on the mouse. Last thing I want to cover is the headset, because even though it's not a PC headset, and let me just kind of clarify that too, you can of course always use these headsets on PC. And on the Kyra Pro, I don't think it has a 3.5 millimeter jack, but it might. But it does have Bluetooth, so you can always use it on your computer. But for gaming, I never suggest Bluetooth. Bluetooth has such high latency. I would never use Bluetooth for gaming, to be honest with you. But with that being said, it does have Xbox wireless, so you can always get those USB wireless, Xbox wireless adapters, and you can use it on PC just like that, which I realize isn't the best solution if you're a PC gamer trying to get the whole collection of Halo Infinite peripherals. But keep in mind, this is an Xbox headset, so I can't really knock Razer too much for having crappy PC integration on it, because pretty much every Xbox and most part PlayStation headsets have crappy PC integration into it. And it is nice that it has Bluetooth though too. I'm not sure if it's simultaneous, if you could use both the Xbox wireless and Bluetooth at the same time. But if it does, then that's really cool, because then you can play music on your phone and stuff like that while you're playing video games. If it doesn't, that's real stupid. Razer really needs to fix that, because I don't know why they would make a headset that wouldn't have simultaneous, but a lot of companies out there do. Yeah. Either way, I think it's a really good headset. It looks really cool. I'm really excited for all of these. That headset, the price on that headset, I should say, is going for $170. And the regular price on the Kyra Pro for Xbox headset is like $150. So we're talking about $20 here for that paint job. Yeah, it kind of sucks paying a little bit more for special editions, but as we all probably already know, that's kind of to be expected with special edition stuff. They always cost more. Last thing I want to mention though is, so I pre-ordered all of these, including that headset, from GameStop, and I pre-ordered that headset like 2 weeks ago. I think I pre-ordered it like the day after the Xbox Series X Halo Infinite Edition got announced, which was the 25th of August, I believe. And yeah, I went into GameStop myself like either a day or 2 days later, and they, even though it wasn't available to pre-order online, and I believe it's still not available to pre-order online on GameStop website. Let me just check real quick for you. Yeah, it's still not available to pre-order online. I was able to go in store and pre-order it like the day after, or 2 days after, I'm not too sure, after the Xbox Series X Halo Infinite Edition got announced, and that was really cool, especially nowadays with a lot of scalpers out there just scooping up all special editions of stuff, although I don't necessarily think the headset and the mouse, keyboard, all that stuff is going to be scalped as hard. I mean, pre-orders are still up for it, and it's been out, or the announcement has been out for hours now. The console and the controller were like sold out immediately, and I much rather have in-store pre-orders, which I know not everybody likes pre-orders in general, but It's a way, especially with special edition stuff, it's a way to kind of guarantee you're going to get one if you can get a pre-order in, of course. And with the console and the controller, in my opinion, that launch sucked. I know some of you guys got lucky out there and either were able to pre-order online somehow or were able to go in store at the right time. And I know I just made a video on this too. But yeah, you were able to go in store at the right time and they were able to do an in-store pre-order for you. But for people like me who I've been trying actually really hard, I've been online pretty much every single day looking at it, seeing if any one of those, the controller or the console, is available for pre-order at any website, because there's always rumors of new drops and stuff like that. And I've also been going in store and calling up local GameStops, asking them if they are doing in-store pre-orders of it. And on that one, I get a lot of mixed answers on it. The answer's never been yes, but the answer's always been, oh no, not yet. They haven't announced whether or not we're going to do in-store pre-orders or have the in-store pre-orders for like the controller out yet, but we're waiting on it, and make sure it's to be a Power Up Reward member, because it's probably going to be a Power Up Reward member only. And for the console, I don't think there's going to be another drop except on maybe Best Buy or Amazon. But for the controller, I hear either, yeah, make sure to be a Power Up Reward member, and we might be doing some in-store pre-orders on it soon, but we're not sure yet. Or I hear other GameStop employees just say, no, I think it was online only. You're never going to be able to do an in-store pre-order on it. So that would suck. But fingers crossed, hopefully that gets better. Last thing I want to leave you guys with is to save $40 if you're looking to buy all three of these, the mouse pad, keyboard, and the mouse itself. You can do a bundle on GameStop.com, and that saves you $40. So instead of $340, it's $300, and that definitely cuts down on the price actually quite a bit. I mean, if you're going to look at it this way, that kind of covers the price of some of the paint jobs on it, and almost makes it the same price as if you were just getting a regular edition, not a special edition of this stuff, which is really nice. So $300 for all three of them. If you're looking to pick up all three of these, I would absolutely suggest that would be the way to go. And you can still do those pre-orders right now. That's how I pre-ordered mine. I just did the bundle and saved $40 that way. So I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. I never get a kickback on any of this stuff, but I'll leave a link in the description to the GameStop listing of that bundle in case you want to check it out. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully it wasn't like a boring or dry video. I really just kind of want to go over this stuff and talk a little bit about it, especially want to get a little bit more in depth on it rather than just make a video and saying, hey, look, there's 3 new peripherals out by Razer, plus the headset that they already announced. I want to at least talk about, say, what model you're getting and a little bit of my opinion on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially as a small channel like mine. And I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful day.